For the next couple of weeks, we are going to be writing fiction narrative stories. What does fiction mean? A fictional story is a story that did not actually happen. I want to start our unit by reading an example of a fiction narrative. A change of heart. It was a bright, sunny morning when Pugsley happily trotted down the street towards his best buddy, Jasper's house. Pugsley and Jasper had been pals for quite some time, and they spent most of their free time together. They enjoyed rummaging through their garbage behind the restaurants and exploring the park, sneaking up on birds. Even though Pugsley was a dog and Jasper was a cat, they still got along great because they had so much in common. Pugsley finally reached Jasper's alley and called out when he got to the large cardboard box Jasper called home. "Jasper, you home?" Pugsley barked at the box. "Hey, Pugsley!" Jasper called out. He squeezed out the front door and walked past Pugsley. "So where should we find some mischief today? The park or the new restaurant down the street?" laughed Pugsley. Just as they came around the corner, trouble found them. "What if it isn't the pup and kitty duo? Haven't we told you before that dogs and cats are not supposed to be friends?" barked the big black bulldog Butch. He was huge, mean, and always hung around with a big group of dogs his same size. "Yeah, you've told me. In fact, you tell me all the time. But you've never told me who made up that silly rule. If Jasper and I want to hang out, why does it matter that he's a cat and I'm a dog?" asked Pugsley. "Hey, that's just the way it is and always has been, so don't go change any rules," snapped Butch. The other dogs behind him began growling too. Suddenly, a dog catcher came running up to the group of dogs. The animals began scrambling to get away. The dog catcher lassoed Jasper and Butch around the necks with the long pole in his hand. He quickly reeled them in and threw the cat and dog in the back of his truck. "Look at the mess you got us into, cat!" Butch yelled as they sat locked up in the truck. "Hey, I didn't get us in this mess, but I think I might be able to get us out," said Jasper. He took his front paw and stretched out his claw until the long, curved, and sharp claw showed. Jasper began furiously working, using his claw to unlock the door of the dog catcher's truck. He kept twisting and turning as his paw became sore. Click! The lock unhooked and the door of the truck swung open. Butch's jaw almost hit the ground. He couldn't believe that he was just rescued by a cat. He knew the dogs in his gang wouldn't believe it either. "Jasper, I believe I misjudged you. You saved my life, even though I said those mean things. I think cats and dogs really can be friends. I've got to tell you how sorry I am for acting so silly," Butch said with his tail between his legs. That's all right, Butch. But next time you see a cat, give them a break, okay? I mean, in a good way, and we'd better get out of here before it's too late," meowed Jasper. The cat and dog quickly hopped out of the truck and went their separate ways. Who were the characters in the story? What was the problem in the story? How was the problem solved? How is a fiction narrative different than a personal narrative? A personal narrative is a true story about something that happened to you. A fictional story is a story that you made up. It can be realistic, a story that could have happened. A fiction narrative can also be unrealistic, a story that couldn't happen. The main difference is that a fiction narrative is a made-up story with made-up characters. Let's look at a graphic organizer to look at what a fictional narrative is. What is a fictional narrative? It is a story that did blank happen. It can be blank or blank. Pause the video, fill in the blanks. It is a story that did or did not happen. It can be blank or blank. Pause the video now. All right, what is a fiction narrative? It is a story that did not happen. It can be realistic or unrealistic. Some examples of some fiction narrative stories that you might know: The Cat in the Hat, Curious George, The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and Little Red Riding Hood.